Hello everybody, this is Tsuki here, I guess, and wow. So right off the bat, you can probably tell I'm obviously not going off of a script or anything. In fact, I'm not entirely sure what exactly I'm going to be saying for the next however long this video ends up being, but yeah, I did want to say something at least. So yeah, this is going to be a very different video than from what I usually do, and I don't know. I guess I just wanted to end up sharing, something, an experience of mine, just to I guess let you guys connect to me and know me a little bit more personally, I guess. So yeah, there's that. So if I'm speaking a little quietly, it's because it's a little late. Uh it's like it's kind of early. It's like 5 a.m. almost. But yeah, that's why I'm speaking a little quietly so I don't wake up anybody. But this was the only time when I could get up onto onto like commentary and talk without having to be bothered or interrupted or anything. And plus, I wanted some time to mull over things. So okay, hopefully I can say everything I want to say in this video and not mess it up. But yeah, let's go for it. So earlier, I guess yesterday night, I suppose now since it's like 5 a.m., I finally had the opportunity to go watch Kimi no Nawa, which is Your Name is also the English title, and it's an anime movie. If you're unaware, an extremely popular movie that got a lot of praise and buzz, I guess, of like last year, like late last year, like in the fall time. But yeah, unfortunately, I didn't go to any of the anime or movie conventions where people got to see it, so I had to wait until now to go to see it in my local theater. And yeah, I must say that am, I don't even know how to describe it, which is what I'm attempting to do right now. But I really enjoyed it a lot. In fact, I think, and this is gonna sound really freaking dumb and cheesy, but it's one of those things that I've experienced in a story that has been capable of changing my life or how I perceive things. And again, I know that sounds really dumb, and that's just a part of my personality, I guess, that you can learn about me because it's not the first time I've experienced a story and it's changed how I've looked at things or changed how I feel about things. Like off the top of my head, I can think of the first time I watched, Clanad, that series. Even though it was a visual novel, I watched the anime first. But leading off of Clanad, I also read the visual novel Little Busters, and I watched the anime as well later when it finally got adapted, adapted. But it wasn't as good. But you know, there's that, and let's see what else. Sakura So, is a very, you know, mixed bag of an anime, and it's adapted from a light novel, and it didn't finish, but from what I was able to see of that, it was, very moving to me as well. Your Lie in April was another one that was pretty recent, like a couple years ago, that I also really enjoyed. And now Your Name, or Kimi no Nawa, which I just had the amazing opportunity to go see. Now, how do I really want to put this? So I want to tell a little bit of a story, and I really want to save the entire story for when I really recollect on my experiences from when I started playing Final Fantasy XIV to whenever I end up making that video. And I feel like I'm not quite ready yet to make that, but there is a story I would like to tell, and I would like to tell, a general gist of it, I guess. And I have explained it a little bit here and there, sprinkled throughout various videos, but I've never really gone, into detail, I suppose. And I suppose I'll go in and add in some more details now, because this does tie into what I was able to see within this story of your name, and I guess how it changes how I felt about certain important aspect of my life at the time, or at the time right now. Okay, so in February, mid-February of 2015, it was pretty much right after Valentine's Day, so it was fresh in my mind about, love and, relationships and stuff like that. And I suppose that it's not particularly uncommon for people to think about that during that time of year. But, at the time, you know, I've had crushes before, I guess, like everyone does, but I've never actually thought that I've actually loved somebody else, other than, like for another person, not just like, a family member or anything like that. So yeah, and that day I just happened to be up late at night with one of my friends. We were just messing around. I'm pretty sure, like I'm trying to think of the exact pathing we did, but yeah, let me see here. I'm pretty sure we uh we started in we were in whatchamacallit. No, we can't. We couldn't have been. Ah, yes, yeah. Never mind. For some reason, I was thinking it was outer Lenosha, but no. We started in Revenant's Toll, which, for those of you who weren't playing back before Heaven's Word, this was basically the main endgame hub where you got all your gear and stuff. So we were just messing around in Revenant's Toll, talking late at night. We weren't really doing anything because it was late, but we were just, talking. And, I decided, you know what, let's talk and ride around, I guess. So I summoned my Draught Chocobo, which is one of the two people mount, I guess, and I just started riding aimlessly. So we rided into Corthus. We went up into the North Shroud, and from the North Shroud we went down to the Central Shroud, and we just pretty much kept going because this is where we ended up. And I just kept on riding us with no real goal in mind, and ended up here at Lifeman Stump. And I'm not entirely sure why I decided to, but I did this really corny thing. I did the Neil emote and proposed to her, I guess, in game, because at the time, the eternal bonding system was fairly new. And yeah, so I did that, and I think we both kind of understood at the time, or at least we thought at the time, that it was just a kind of a joke, and we were just kind of messing around as friends at the time. And she accepted, so we went to go do the thing over in the East Shroud, and to get ready, and we ended up picking a date, February 21st of 2015, which is our anniversary. And yeah, that's when we decided we were going to go get married in game, I guess. And again, at the time, it was really just playfulness. It was kind of role playing, I guess, in a sense. But I think over like the week, I guess, that it took to, I know, a week. I mean, look at Romeo and Juliet though. That was like a few days. But over that week, we started to kind of slowly realize that maybe our feelings for each other weren't just as friends, and that maybe we did actually feel something romantic towards each other, and it was a genuine feeling and a mutual feeling. And by the time we ended up getting married in game, we actually actually really did have a relationship together, outside of the game as well. And that was basically the start of our relationship. Unfortunately, as you can probably tell nowadays, it's not exactly like that. There are some circumstances that happened that ended up making it so that it became difficult, I suppose, to see each other. And I've tried many times over the last 2 years since we haven't been able to really talk to each other to really, I guess, stay a close friend and to really prove that I really did love her as a person and I'm really trying to think of the best way to say this because again I'm not doing this script or anything, but yeah, I really did. I cared about this person, obviously, and there's something that was wrong with her, and I really wanted to help, but I knew, and it was always frustrating to me because I knew I couldn't physically ever do anything to help because I wasn't there. She lived, across the country basically, and there's no way that I could just get up, leave, and go over there, at the time. And even now, it's not realistic for me to be able to do that. But yeah, and the best I could ever do was uh, was talk, with use words and talk to her. But even then, it was never really enough to comfort her, to get her through the difficult times of her life. And it came to the point where it became difficult for her to be around me, and was really frustrating for me to be around her. Well, I wouldn't even say that. It was just it felt awkward, I suppose, to be around her because I knew that she felt guilty, I guess. She felt guilty that she couldn't really properly be around me, be herself, and I could understand that, and it was really awkward between us, and that's really kind of what ended up pushing us to separate. But at the same time, I still really did love her and care about her as a person. But then, I mean, we just kind of continued to kind of drift away from that point. She ended up leaving, my free company. She doesn't really talk to any of the mutual friends we have anymore. She's only talks to really just one of them, who I also talk to all the time and for advice on this kind of stuff. But yeah, that's really kind of what became of that. But I don't know, like if you had asked me a month ago, what did I think about this relationship? I would have said, you know what? She clearly can't be around me anymore, and she probably doesn't want, to have me lingering on this, and maybe it's time to move on. And maybe that is true, even though she has never actually said it to me. But while I don't want to continue to impose on her, I do think that it's unfair to her and to myself to completely give up. I think that I really want to try to stay here and still be here with open arms as a friend. Whenever she may need, my help for anything or anything like that, I really want to be there to support her. And it's really what I guess this movie instilled into me, that feeling. I really wanted to be there to help her, to save her, I guess. But yeah, that's really what I wanted to do and what I really want to do. I don't know if there's even a remote chance that we could even still have a, relationship, let alone a friendship, um, after what has happened. But I think the most important thing is that she is happy. I think that's the most important thing to me, right now. And I've always said this about sadness because it was definitely sad when we couldn't be together anymore. But the thing about sadness is that I think sadness is very beautiful because sadness is the proof. It's the proof that you cared. The pain you feel from sadness is the proof that you cared about whatever it is that is making you sad. And while I feel like I might be still a little naive when it comes to things like love, I think that one of the most important things about love is wishing for the person you love to be happy, even though you know that you might not be the one bringing them that happiness yourself. It's about them being happy, and that's really the most important thing. And yeah, like, I'm not entirely sure if that even made a whole lot of sense. And I'm just sitting here talking about, having just watched a movie and how it changed my life. So I don't know. That's the sentiment that just is inside of myself as a person, I guess. And that's just kind of the person I am. And yeah, I think what do I want to say next? So I don't know if I've mentioned this before, but I am a writer. I haven't like written any novels or anything like that, but I like to write. I've always liked to write since middle school. Reading books and playing video games were sort of my thing growing up. And the thing about it was that I always found that the best stories, whether it be a book or a movie, a TV show, an anime, a video game, whatever medium you choose to experience a story through, the best stories were always the ones that could make you connect with it, that could make you care about the characters and what was happening, and that could ultimately connect so much with you and resonate so much with you that it ended up changing how you feel about something. And this movie, the story inside of it, definitely one of those stories to me. Kimi no Nawa, or Your Name, an amazing story. I really wish I could talk about it, more in depth. But this, for one thing, this isn't really an anime channel in the first place. But yeah, so yeah, I just wanted to get on here and share a little bit about myself. And yeah, that was it, I guess. And I know that stuff like this is probably going to get a lot of mixed reactions. There's probably going to be people on one side who are really supportive, and there's going to be people who are on the other side that might think I'm dumb or naive, and that's totally fine. I feel like everybody has their own point of view when it comes to things, and everybody has their own experiences when it comes to these sorts of things. But as for myself, I guess I'm fairly young. I've only gotten through maybe a quarter of my life at this point. But to me, um, I just wanted to share my experiences. I guess I wanted to share my experience of finding love through Final Fantasy 14, even though it's not the full story. Again, that's not something I'm really ready to share completely yet. And I wanted to share the experience that this story made me, I guess, think about, I guess, and changed how I felt about something very crucial and important in my life at the time. And yeah, and when it comes to this movie, Kimi no Nawa, it's a pretty big movie in terms of anime movies. It's like the fourth highest grossing film in Japan or something like that, and it's the highest grossing anime film worldwide uh, at the time right now. And I feel like it's well deserved. There's a lot of great things about the movie itself, from just the story, the animation, the music. It was amazing. It was an amazing experience, and I'm really glad that I got to see and experience it in a theater firsthand. And I really can't wait to be able to see it a second time. Maybe I'll go to the theater again if there's ever an opportunity. But yeah, I really did enjoy uh, that story, and it's definitely one of those anime movies where even if you're not really a fan of anime like myself, it's really one of those things that I think anyone could go watch and really have a good experience with. And you know, like I said, it ended up changing how I felt about something. It basically changed my life, you know. And as cheesy as it sounds, it really is true. It changed how I felt about something. It made me not want to give up on something important to me. And yeah, I'm going to be here. I will be here to support my friend if she ever needs me. And hopefully, I can move forward one day knowing that she will be happy as a person, and maybe we can still be friends, or maybe we can reconnect. I don't even know. The most important thing to me now is my goal is to make sure that I know that she is happy. And that's my goal really. And that sounds cheesy as well, but that's really it. I want. And you know what? It's not just her, I guess. It's everyone. I want to make sure that every one of my friends that I've met here through Final Fantasy 14 is happy. Eventually, when the game eventually does reach the point where people start to leave, where the game just kind of loses its support, they stop making expansions, whatever, it's going to happen. It might be 6, 7, 10 years down the line, but it will happen. And when we all go to our separate ways, I really hope that you know everyone who I am close to now will still have the same feelings that I have towards everybody now. And really, I love those people. I care about them. Some of them are my closest friends, and I never really imagined that I would meet them, playing a video game of all things. But I really do wish that all of my friends that I've met here leave, and I know that they're going to be happy, with the rest of their lives, whatever they choose to do, wherever they choose to go, when they stop playing this game, when we stop talking with each other, or maybe we will continue to talk, because I feel like our relationships, some of my relationships with my friends do go beyond just this game, but I just want everybody to be happy because that's really it. I love everybody that I've met here, my friends, and even you guys. I don't really know most of you that well, but I know there's a few regulars who I see commenting on my videos every now and then, and I really do wish that you guys are happy. I am here, doing something that I love. It's a hobby. Posting videos on the internet, but yeah, that's my wish. I really want people to be happy and for you guys to be entertained. So that's my new goal coming out of this one experience, watching one movie, less than 2 hours of an experience, and this is what it comes down to for me. But yeah, I think I've rambled on long enough. I'm kind of a little afraid to post this video because I'm not entirely sure how it's going to be received, but or even what I'm going to call it. Like, what the frick? What would you even call this video? Like, I don't know. I guess I'll have to figure it out, right? But yeah, thank you all for watching or for listening rather, because it was literally just me standing in front of a tree stump for 25 minutes. But yeah, thank you all for listening, and yeah, I really do hope that I can fulfill the goals I set for myself. No matter how long it takes. Maybe it won't take. Maybe it won't be as easy as just waiting for a few months or a few years. Maybe it's something that you just kind of have to work towards as life goes on. So, and I guess it's also kind of not really within my control at the moment, but that that is my goal. And even if I can't fully meet all of my goals, that I set for myself today, I still want to give it my best shot. So, yeah, there's that. I think that's enough corniness and sentiment for myself for one video. So I think I should probably end it now. So yeah, thank you guys for listening. Obviously, if you didn't catch the memo, if you haven't seen Kimi no Nawa yet, or Your Name is the English version, I'm not entirely sure which one is more common for you guys to hear about. But if you haven't seen it yet, and it happens to be in a theater that you can go see, it's probably not going to be out on like a DVD or Blu-ray release until like much later this year. So if you can't see it, I would highly recommend seeing it in the theater because it was an amazing experience. It was it's funny. I actually watched this in the theater, and when when the credits rolled, uh, there was a couple people who left, but most of the theater was just kind of sitting there because I mean it was a pretty impactful movie in my experience, in my personal opinion. So I really do hope that more people can experience it. And it's already the highest grossing anime movie of all time, but I mean, yeah, I really do hope that even more people who aren't into anime or who haven't been able to see it yet, like myself, who really wanted to see it, get the opportunity to do so. So that's my rant. I guess that yeah, that was the thing. But yeah, I'm going to go ahead and turn off my freaking mic before I go ahead and ramble on some more. So again, thank you all for listening, and yeah, I think it's time to go record more of that Let's Play or something. While I still have the opportunity to do some commentary and stuff. So look forward to that. Um, yeah, that's it. Thank you guys. So till until the next video. Sayonara. Bye bye.